There we all are, enjoying our precious time on this wonderful home planet we call Earth. Then bam, just like that, we're taken away to non-existence, along with Earth in a fantastically devastating explosion. Now, as you may know, Earth isn't going to last forever. One day, long after we are all gone, the sun will expand and the whole of our solar system will be destroyed. But could Earth explode before that day? How could such a premature explosion occur? What would happen to the moon? To our solar system? Well, if Earth does explode while we're alive, then we won't be able to find out the answers to all these questions, because we'll all be dead from the blast. So out of curiosity, let's get those answers now while we're still alive. So, what would happen if the Earth exploded? If the Earth exploded, chunks of debris would travel at high velocity speeds in a variety of directions throughout space. Any objects, whether planets or moons, that the debris collided with would see physical damage. The moon would be the first to be hit as its nearest by. There would also be a minor change to the gravitational relationships between the remaining objects in our universe. There are several potential ways the Earth could blow up. It could explode if it was able to increase its mass to a level where its thermonuclear reactions were so substantial that they could ignite and blow up the Earth. Alternatively, it might explode if it crashed into another object in space, but that object would need to be seriously big and travelling with some serious force and energy behind it. Let's make something clear before we go any further. Earth has withstood a lot already. Long before humans came along, 4 billion years ago, Earth was getting an absolute pummeling from ginormous rocks from outer space. Did Earth explode then? No, it didn't. It kept calm and carried on. It's also had to deal with asteroid strikes, supernova blasts and extreme weather. But did it surrender? No, sir. Sure, the living creatures on Earth at the time of those events, such as the dinosaurs, did not survive, but Earth did. Good old Earth, eh? And so Earth has continued all this time without exploding. So is there any possible way that Earth's defence could be broken and it could be blown up for good? Well, there are two ways the planet could prematurely explode, each of which is a bit far-fetched. Earth could explode if 1. Another object of a big enough size with enough energy behind it crashed into the planet. 2. It was able to produce thermonuclear reactions that was substantial enough to ignite the planet. Let's dig into each of these potential causes with a little bit more detail. The most plausible cause of premature explosion for Earth would be that it collides with another object in space. This isn't happening anytime soon either. Even if it did, the chances are that the impact would not be strong enough to totally blow up the Earth. Instead, it'd probably just be broken up into pieces. An unimaginable amount of energy and force is required to explode a planet. The object Earth crashes with would need to be as huge as well. So whilst this is the most plausible scenario, it's still very unlikely that it will occur. The other possibility is that there is an explosion via thermonuclear reactions. Stars burn and eventually explode. They are able to do this because they have thermonuclear reactions occurring deep inside their core centres. Then add in the fact that stars are huge, so their thermonuclear reactions are therefore substantial enough for them to ignite and explode when the time to go comes. However, some stars are too small and therefore unable to ignite, and these are known as brown dwarfs. So, could Earth explode through its own thermonuclear reaction at its core centre? Well, scientists know that any object in space that has less than 8% of our Sun's mass is unable to ignite and explode because its nuclear reactions aren't substantial enough. Trust me, Earth has well below 8% of the Sun's total mass. So for Earth to generate thermonuclear reactions that were substantial enough to ignite and explode, the planet would need to increase its mass. We're not talking about a few added pounds here. Jupiter, for example, which is the biggest planet in our solar system, would require 13 times more of its present mass to have the ability to ignite itself and explode via thermonuclear reactions. If Earth exploded,
So what would
now
happen
onto
to
the
the
moon.
solar system
If Earth exploded, the moon would probably be destroyed in a collision with a piece of debris travelling at high velocity speeds.
Only objects
It would
that the
depend on the
debris
size of the
collided
explosion, of
with
course,
would see any
If it was a
impact.
full-on explosion,
There
with
would
chunks
also
of
be
debris
very little
overcoming the
change between
gravitational
objects
pull
with
and
regard to
flying
their
out in all
gravitational
directions throughout
relationship.
space,
And the
yep,
moon
Earth would
would be in
explode and the
trouble.
rest of the solar system
If a big chunk of
wouldn't
debris collided with the
probably
moon,
change
then
all
it
that
could
much.
destroy it entirely.
However, that's not to
So
say
long
that
as it
no
has the
object
size
in
and energy
in the
behind
universe
it
would
remember
fill
what
some
we
of the
talked
impact
about
regarding
regarding
Earth
Earth
exploding
For a
via
start,
collision.
any object
If the
might
explosion
collide
wasn't
with a
as
chunk of
dramatic
debris
and
created by
Earth was broken
explosion.
up badly, but
When Earth
still within
exploded,
the same part of space,
hypothetically, of course,
the moon would
loose bits
continue
of
to
debris from the
orbit
planet
what
will
is Earth,
blast
what
away
is
from the
left of
explosion's
Earth.
central point and start travelling in
Earth's
different
gravitational
directions in the
pull would be
universe.
severely
The
weakened,
first to be hit,
so would
and
the
also
moon's
most
orbit.
likely to be hit due
It
to its close
would still be
proximity
orbiting
to Earth,
as long as there
would
is
be
some
the moon.
Earth there,
and some
with a
pretty severe
gravitational
damage
pull.
would be done to the moon.
But we're here
Now,
today
after the
to
moon,
mainly talk
what
about
other
the big
planets
boy explosions,
would be hit?
the kind
Well,
that
it
would send
could happen.
chunks of Earth.
The
across
chances are
solar
relatively
system at
slim.
high velocity
Space is
speeds.
humongous.
In the case of such an explosion,
Such a collision
yes,
would be
not only would it
significant,
end
though, as it could
Earth
rearrange
and
the
us,
surface
but it would
of
probably
the
be the end of the
object
moon
hit,
as well.
whether it be the moon,
It's
planet,
so close
or
to
whatever.
Earth that the chances
Unlike
of
Earth,
a piece of
the other
massive
planets in our
debris
solar
flying
system
at
don't
it
have any
and
living
destroying
beings,
it
at least
are
that
high.
we're aware of. So there wouldn't be a risk of death in such a collision that we know of. Then there's a chance that some planets may have to adjust their gravitational balance. Objects in the universe have gravitational relationships with one another, including Earth. So if one of those objects is blown up and no longer there, that impacts the nature of the gravitational relationship between certain objects. But the chances are Earth's demise and absence would have very little impact on gravitational relationships. Luckily, planets aren't made so that they have the capabilities of self-destruct, Earth included. If Earth were to explode, it would need to be involved in a high-speed collision, and that isn't happening anytime soon. The solar system would probably survive if Earth exploded, but it wouldn't be the same. Our poor moon would probably go down with us.